Now look, your ship is almost clear.
Warning, Hebrews Toys Reviews is not intended for children. It is for adult collectors and the people over the age of 18.
That always freaks me out. Oh, hello there. Hebrew77 here. And can you believe it? We're at the final day of Star Trek month. And today we are going to be talking about something very special. Yes, that's right. Today we will be talking... Well, hello there. Yes, this is going to be a very special episode indeed. I like what you've done with the place, Hebrew. Say, you've been a very naughty boy, haven't you? You, what are you doing here? I thought you said you would never return. How come this thing isn't working? Q. I never said no such thing, Hebrew. Remember, I said we'll always be watching, and I'll be popping in from time to time. I am here to make sure you do the perfect review of the U.S.S. Enterprise. Would you deny me otherwise? Well, Q, I guess you leave me with no other choice. On with the review. This is the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701D, otherwise known as the U.S.S. Enterprise D. And as you can see, it is quite the remarkable ship. I do not have a stand for this one, although sometimes I do set it up on objects, like maybe this. Now for the big review, you people are probably asking me, why didn't I choose to review the bridge in the Enterprise? Well, that would have been a whole big thing that I would have had to drag out of the corner and then put it all together and so forth and so on. That's something I might do for next year's Star Trek month. But for now, this is the core of the cores. I don't know if that even makes sense. Let's just say the piece la resistance or whatever. Now, this particular model does not separate from the saucer, although I have seen those. In fact, I had a friend that had one that did separate. And like I said, I do not have a proper display stand for this. However, for something that came out in the 90s, this was actually quite remarkable, is it does come with battle sounds and other sounds. Let's see if we can get a few of those sounds to come up.
Enemy vessel engaging tractor beam. Warning, enemies firing photon torpedoes. Enemies engaging warp drive. Enemies warp drive sailing. Enemy vessel entering neutral zone. Engaging impulse drive. Entering neutral zone. Warning, tractor beam sailing. Warning, shield sailing. Engaging tractor beam. Enemy weapon system warp drive failing. Enemy vessel light systems secure.
Okay.
Vessel engaging warp drive.
Cool.
Weapons secure. Shields secure.
All right.
Vessel firing phasers. Enemy vessel engaging tractor beam.
All right. Well, there you go. It cycled through pretty much all the sounds and stuff like that that you might see. Now, I fully expected that these things here on the back would light up. However, they do not. I know that these are called the warp fuel cells. Some of these. Now, this is like the I don't know, but anyway, compulsion systems, warp drive, all that stuff does come from these parts. I do have the blueprints for this. However, at the time, I really couldn't find it. That would have been a really interesting part of this whole view. And but I mean, if you just look at it, it looks like almost the complete model of the NCC 1701D U.S.S. Enterprise. So let's just take a look at this particular toy. As you see, it says U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701D on the front. And then you have all of the details here of the little windows coming in. And it's not exactly accurate to the real model, but I think it really does a good depiction. And then you have this compartment here, of course, which is the battle bridge. And of course that is here, and that this separated, you would see all that in intricate detail. So we flip over the USS Enterprise, and you can see there are more details here at the bottom. And this is something that would have been really neat to light up. This is weapons, compulsion, tractor beam. This is where it all comes out of down here. And of course you have more levels down underneath. You could see all the little windows and stuff at the bottom. And down here as well. I believe 10 forward might be somewhere in here, but at the top. I'm not sure. Maybe here? Is this 10 forward? Anyway. So, yeah, there really isn't much to talk about. I could see why they couldn't make it a separating ship because of all the electronics involved. However, that would have been a really nice feature to have. Perhaps they could have done it some way, somehow. However, I do have a USS Enterprise that does have the separation feature. You've seen me talk about this before, but I did not go into, I don't know if I went into fine detail about it, but as you can see, it doesn't have nearly as good quality as this bigger model, which I keep calling these things model. This is a toy, not a model. I think what my friend had was more of a model, and it did separate from the battle bridge. I might end up getting that in the near future and maybe doing a talk about it later on. So this does have the separation feature. Let's take a look at that now. So as you can see here, the trick really is to press down, and there you go. You have a separated saucer session. Now the USS Enterprise D lasted through all 7 seasons, and there really wasn't any other versions of it. They may have changed it in the movie a little bit. I know they added at least one room for the movie. Let's put the ship back together. There we go. Easy back, easy gone. They ended up destroying it in the very first motion picture, Star Trek Generations, which was a motion picture to bridge the gap between the two series. Is a total shame considering we do see the U.S.S. Enterprise D and All Good Things. It comes back somehow in the future, so I'm not quite sure how that comes about. But the U.S.S. Enterprise D, as with all the U.S.S. Enterprises, past, future, present, was a character on that show. It was like anyone else, Data, Picard, Worf, Riker. It was just a character. It was much like the Knight Rider car, or the A-Team van, or the Scooby-Doo van, or the Ecto-1. The USS Enterprise D has its place in vehicle history, and has its place in Star Trek history as well. And, well, that's really all I have to say about this fine, fantastic, wonderful, amazing ship. Now, do I consider it top tier? Unfortunately, I can't put it in the top tier category because it doesn't have all the features that it's supposed to have. If you're doing, looks nice, and it does have the
Warning, enemies firing photon torpedoes.
gimmick. And because of that gimmick, it hinders this thing from doing more potential things that it could be doing to give it more great potential as a collectible. So I'm going to have to call this thing middle tier, unfortunately. But other than that, I very highly recommend this toy. And if you go on eBay, you can find this toy and models just like it, and even better models that don't have the gimmick of this particular Enterprise, but who needs gimmicks anyway? Greatest gimmick of them all was the separation of the ship. After all, that is what separated, pardon the pun, this USS Enterprise from the original. Another thing I failed to mention is that these actually come off, so if you're into customization, if you find one like this, they do have a battle damage version of this. It's very rare, but you can find it. I found this one in an antique store years ago. But yes, these do come off. Of course, you have to be very careful when you're taking them off, not to break them. But as you can see, they're very wobbly, and yeah. Well, you've seen this one come off. That one will come off as well. And I suppose if you wanted to take it a step further and put lights into these, if you knew how to remove these pieces here somehow, then yeah, good luck with that. And well, that's all I have to say pretty much about this. This is a very fine toy to add to your collection. Well, there you have it. That will conclude Star Trek Month, and what a very fine review that was to end Star Trek Month. I only hope that Q approves of it. Well, Hebrew, bravo on that review. That was a very fine review indeed. Let's just say it was Q approved. But remember, your future is not yet to be determined. It is what you make of it. As for your personal life, well, I can't really do anything about that mess. But remember, as I said before, and I shall say it again, we will always be watching, and I will pop in from time to time. So long. Whoa, it's dark in here. Where the heck am I? Oh, hello there. What the hell? It's you. What are you doing? Who, me? I was just playing some blackjack. By yourself? Do you want to join me? I think I will. Great. Here. You deal. You know, I should have done this a long time ago. Straight blackjack, no doubling down. And the sky's the limit. Wait a minute, that didn't even make...
In any case, I'll be watching. And if you're very lucky, I'll drop by to say hello from time to time.